What's going on, fellow Illuminators? Welcome back in. I am Lorcana Thanos, the Mad Titan of the Illuminator. I am back from DLC Las Vegas. Had a great time overall. There was some good, there was some bad, and some in between. But we're going to talk about what I played at the event, my overall thoughts on the event, some improvements to make going forward into DLC Seattle in just about a month's time. And yes, I will be there in what I am looking forward to. And there's going to be this going to be kind of a different video for me, so I'm going to be kind of sharing my thoughts and then kind of sort of like a vlog style of just stuff from throughout my trip. So first off, I guess overall impressions. So overall, I thought the event was ran very well. This was the first DLC that I had been to since the very first one at the start of the season, DLC Atlanta. Um, you can tell Ravensburger has taken the time to look at the feedback and has improved from each DLC. And that is what I've heard from everyone that I talked to. And it was nice to see at this one. I'll show the venue a little bit later when I talk about it. But yeah, I thought everything was very smooth. The check-in was easy. No melee issues. We had like one minor one, but it got resolved very quickly. Thank you. Atlanta was a hot mess for that if you were at Atlanta. But yeah, overall, I thought the event was ran very smoothly. So let's talk about the lead up to the event. So this is what I thought going into it. All right, what is going on, everybody? So Lord Thanos here. So I am getting set to head to the airport to fly out to Vegas. So pretty excited. So I just wanted to record some thoughts real quick just for the start of this vlog, and hopefully we have some good news to report when we return. But first off, I've had my decks selected for about a month now. I've been working really hard for the past few months to really kind of define what I think this meta is going to be. Naturally, I would not be surprised if the one of the big three decks, Ruby Amethyst, Ruby Sapphire, or Steel Song, won the event. I would not be surprised. I think I have something. I've put in a lot of time and effort. Obviously, I would love to win. But ideally, I'm just trying to make day two and get into top 16 and get my invite. That's the goal. The goal here is get to Anaheim, and I'll worry about the rest once I'm there. But yeah, let's go. And so yeah, I had felt very confident going into it, and so I was on the way down to the airport, and of course, as things happen, flight got delayed. A little bit unfortunate. Seem to have bad luck with that when I go out west. Tend to always get flights delayed going out west for some reason. But yeah, it was supposed to get delayed like an hour plus, and only ended up being like 30-40 minutes. So not terrible. But yeah, I got into Vegas super late. Thank God finally got to the room because my goodness, that rideshare pickup at the Vegas airport was a hot mess. There were a shit ton of people there. And yeah, that did not go over very well. But yeah, I didn't get to my room till about 2 a.m. So yeah, I decided to sleep, and then yeah, woke up and got to enjoy the sphere. That thing's really cool. As you'll see throughout the video here, there's different just looks at it and displays that they put on it. And I know the camera may not quite do it justice, but if you're there or if you've seen it before, it's actually like really cool to see like in person. But yeah, got up the following day on Friday to go get my badge. Alrighty, so it is Friday, so badge pickup site event day, as you can see, Las Vegas behind me. So we are gonna get ready and head on over. And so yeah, as I said, so got a ride down to the venue. That was interesting. Lyft and Uber. Don't know what was going on with the geolocation tracking, but yeah, it put me in a completely wrong location. It wasn't that hard of a walk. It was like a couple blocks. But once I knew where I was going the following day for the main event on Saturday, I was able to move it better. But yeah, found the event and so check in and let's go look around. Food was interesting. So the thing with these things, all right. So I am grateful for the fact that they incorporated a 45-minute lunch break after round three. That is something that typically does not happen at these kind of events. Typically, unless you got someone with you who can go run and get you food, you're on your own and you're SOL unless you bring snacks. Um, so it was nice that they offered it. However, I was in a situation in round three where me and my opponent we went to time, and then there is the 45-minute break, and you say, well, you have 45 minutes, that should be enough. Well, with how it was set up, there was this little spot in the back to get some food, and then there was a Papa John's cart and another cart. I didn't see what they had outside of the area where we were playing, and then there were two food trucks outside. But because there's 2,000 plus people there, 45 minutes was not enough time. Thankfully, I had brought some snacks with me, so I was able to go outside and sit down and have that. But I wish going forward, if I was surprised, provide some feedback on that, is that they incorporate areas where there's more options for food. I guess when looking at venues, because there's wasn't much around there. It was practically nothing around there. Unless you had a car or a way, like I said, to have someone go get food. But having the lunch break was nice. So yeah, Friday was just meant for me just to go down, get my badge, and just kind of hang out and meet my fellow content creators and or just people in general. And so, as you can see, went down, got in, and I first checked out some vendors and got several Robin Hood and Scar and Hyena cold foils, which, if you are interested in my Scar and Hyena thematic deck profile, be prepared. You can find that in the card right up here. But yeah, got that, picked that up. Finally met James and Jared from Citizens of Lorcana. Finally met Eric from The Gamer. And I got this little Groot off of him. So Groot was with me throughout the event. And then, yeah, as I was meeting fellow CCs, I got their ink tokens that Liam had commissioned. So I got one for Jared and James, one for Brandon B Square 24, and then the one for Rebecca Quest. But yeah, to all my fellow content creators that I met, it was nice meeting you. It was really cool hanging around because later that day, As you can see, and photo credit goes to Rebecca from Rebecca Quest. Be sure to go give her a follow. But we all hung out and we did a giant group photo together. So that was really cool. And then, yeah, the night before, I sat down and recorded my thoughts going into the event. All right, so night before the big event, feeling pretty good. It was a lot of fun going to the venue, meeting my fellow content creators, people who enjoy what I do on the channel, just people in the community in general. Obligatory photo with Ryan. But yeah, but in about a month and a half, 2 months of work, hopefully this pays off. I think I have a pretty good call for this weekend, feeling very good about it. And obviously I expect to see Steel Song, I expect to see Ruby Amethyst, I expect to see Emerald Amethyst. It was good to see the competitive side events today because got a bit of a feel for what's going to be in the room. Obviously I already tested those matchups, but you never know what's going to happen. So let's see what happens tomorrow when I shuffle up. So going into the event, if you've listened to my prior stuff here, I have talked about how I felt like I had a good thumb on what was going on. I had my finger on the pulse of the metagame, and it turned out to be pretty much correct in terms of the ink combo. And so I played Emerald Steel. The thing is, and we'll pull the list up and go through it here in a little bit. I want to talk about my matchups and overall experience before we dive into the list. But my thing is why I chose that ink combo. So going into it, I didn't think the aggro deck would stick around. I did see a few at some other tables. They obviously weren't doing that well, but I knew the aggro deck wasn't really going to stick around, and I just felt like I just felt like Emerald Steel had the best ways to deal with the most popular decks that you're going to see going into this. And I saw that I said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if Ruby Sapphire, Ruby Amethyst, or Steel Song won the event. Reason why I didn't mention Emerald Steel was because I didn't anticipate as many players, especially on the higher tier, play that deck. I wasn't anticipating that. So it was very interesting that I actually had no clue they were going to end on that, and that was took me for a bit of a shock when I found out, say, like that Zan and Zach Bivens were on Emerald Steel. I was a little bit surprised to find out about that. Also, Bivens, great meeting you. You guys can see right up here. Sorry you lost in Top Cut, but congrats on topping another event, and Zan, congrats to you for taking it down. So, as I said, it felt like that pairing had the best opportunity to get at Steel Song, because I felt Steel Song was going to be. I thought it was going to have more representation than it did. And then, of course, Ruby Amethyst, you got to always expect that. And that is like the safety net, safe deck. And then and that's on me a little bit, I actually undersold how much Ruby Sapphire was going to show up. Obviously, I know that's a super popular deck. People love it. I would say it's the safe net choice number 2, but behind Ruby Amethyst. So, yeah, that's on me. And as we dive into the build here. All right, so here we have made it day of the event. Months of prep. Let's go. Good morning, Illuminators. So yeah, like I said, I definitely made some errors in judgment for the deck building process. Now, in terms of how I did, I ended up going 153 and ended on 16. So not not great for what I wanted to accomplish. My goal was to make day two and hopefully get my invite to Anaheim. Obviously, that did not come anywhere close. So let's talk about kind of what I played in a breakdown there. I played all 9 rounds, and so for my 9 rounds, I played against 3 Ruby Sapphire, 2 Ruby Amethyst, a Steel Song, an Amethyst Steel, an Emerald Steel mirror match, and then this Ruby Yellow deck that was themed around like princesses and queens. So kind of how my deck did into all those. Let's do the 4 1-offs first. So Steel Song I tied. I had 2-0 on board with that matchup, but unfortunately, my opponent went Daisy Daisy, 2-drop, Amber Ursula, Pete. I got Pete back to back several times, and as you've seen from the list, I focus a lot on damage removal and just hard removing people as fast as I can. And so getting locked out of Pete, of doing that by having a Pete on board, stopped me from being able to do anything to secure game. So that's why we split. Amethyst Steel. So with Amethyst Steel, that was my round one. I should have 2-0'd, but I got in my head too much. I was worried about being sure I did well. First round jitters kind of got in my head a little bit, and I ended up costing myself game one because I went for a top end character instead of staying low to the ground and playing 2 characters because I was fairly certain my opponent didn't have anything in order to get rid of my characters, and I went tall instead of going wide. And had I gone wide, I would have won and I would have 2-0'd him. So that was on me. And then the mirror matchup, um, that was unfortunate. That was round 2, and yeah, that was just unfortunate. So what happened there is we were just running 2 different builds. His build was closer, I say, to what Zan was running, and so as opposed to what I was doing, going more damage. Except he has some minor differences from Zan's list. Except, like so, he was running like cheap Bogo for instance. So he was doing to me what I was trying to do to him on top of discarding, and I had no chance. I got my face beat in. I had no chance. So 0-2 that one, I was fine taking that loss. And then, like I said, um, the Ruby Amber Princess Queen deck was interesting. I 2-0'd that deck pretty easily. And yeah, so that's kind of what. Ruby Amethyst. So I played 2 Ruby Amethysts. I lost both of those. But it's not like I got blown out by that. It's just those were 4 very, very down to the wire close games. And just due to how cards came out through RNG, it just didn't come out in my favor, unfortunately. And that's a deck building problem that I'm going to have to fix. And I acknowledge that. But they were still super close games, super fun matches. My opponents were awesome. I didn't have an issue with any of my opponents. All my opponents were super cool. Ruby Sapphire. Oh boy, that was rough. Which is weird because like I really tested that matchup on that and Ruby Amethyst. I knew Steel Song could steal games off me if I wasn't careful. I wasn't expecting to get Pete played on me multiple times, but I guess when your opponent's spinning the wheel so much, their numbers don't lie, so they're bound to see him again. But Ruby Sapphire was interesting. I think by kind of that point in the time when I kept seeing the Ruby Sapphire decks, just in this weird flow, this weird mojo, and it just was what it was, right? I ended up overall. I won. I split one match, and then I got O2'd 2 of them. When you're not drawing and you're getting shift Shisu, you're getting beat prepped. You're like when you're Medusa, when your board's constantly getting removed. What am I supposed to do at that point, right? Like I couldn't do anything, so I don't really know what I'm supposed to do at that point. It was just kind of a here, take that nerd situation, and that's a a matchup going forward that I'm gonna have to put a little bit extra time in. But in terms of like how the event was ran, I thought the event was ran very well, and I feel good in knowing that I had the right pulse of the meta. Like I made the right in combo call. I just should have gone with a different build, and maybe I could have at least made day two and accomplished one of my goals. But I will be in Seattle, and I went back to the hotel that night. Immediately went back to the lab, and I built 5 different deck lists that night. So I am very much aware of things to fix coming out of this event, how I think the meta is going to change, and I've already started making lists for different in combos that I am already testing going into Seattle. So yeah, though I wasn't pleased with the record, I thought like I keep saying, thought the event PPG, good job. Thought the event was ran very well. It was so much better than how I felt Atlanta went. Of course, met Ryan again, obligatory meet Ryan photo. Um, of course, now I have all this, and if you guys saw me, I had this guy here on me, so he got a kick out of that. So yeah, and then of course, while I was at the event, got myself some concred, so that was always fun, and that's probably the reason why I didn't do side events on Friday. Is I was already kind of feeling sick and a little bit out of it going into the event. Then of course talking and playing all day, and then Sunday it just really hit and just knocked me out. So unfortunately, as you'll see, got another look that morning of the strip and the sphere. But I just didn't really feel like going anywhere. Didn't really feel like doing anything. So just kind of stayed. Unfortunately, just kind of stayed in my room, tried to recover some, drink a lot of fluids, and watch football, which was a very interesting experience for me because I am in Atlanta. So yeah, the West Coasters, you guys got it good. It was really weird. The nighttime game was on at like 4 in the afternoon, and then by the time it was over, you still had your night, and I was like, "What is going on here?" Um, but yeah, and then so Monday I was just travel home day. And yeah, came back, got in, took a red eye. So was at the airport for quite a bit. I've walked all over that airport there in Vegas, so don't care to do that again. But yeah, now I'm back and here, and I am ready for Seattle. I've learned a lot from the experience. It's always good to get reps, and that's why I stayed to play all 9 rounds because I had an opportunity to hit 20, potentially 30 tickets if things had gone my way, but they didn't. It happens. It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. But I'm super. Like I said, I'm super glad that I went. I'm not pleased competitively, obviously, with the results, but it was awesome getting to meet all my fellow content creators. I can't say that enough. You guys are absolutely awesome. There were times throughout the event where I talked about the food earlier, where I wasn't able to eat. You guys helped me out with that. You know, Anytime like I needed something throughout that event, my fellow content creators, you guys always came through for me, and that is something I am eternally grateful for. You hear and see us say it on the X machine all the time, but this truly is a community. This is one of the best. This is probably the best TCG community I've ever been in. I mean, the whole cheating thing, I'm not even going to touch that. You guys don't want me to touch that because I'm not going to be nice about it. You know, that's a really sad, pathetic situation. That's all I'll say on it. There's always some rotten apples, in the bunch. But for the most part, though, I really feel like this community is in a good place, and this game overall, it's going in the right direction. Azure IC looks incredible. Be sure to stay tuned as we talk about that more going forward. But yeah, I've got you see the board behind me. I'm sick. Content grind doesn't stop here. Um, until I can't talk. Content grind doesn't stop. So yeah, that's kind of my overview of Vegas and showing you guys some of my trip. And yeah, I will see you next time. And there you have it. That's going to do it for today's video. Be sure to let me know down below what you thought. And I would really appreciate it if you would give me one of these. It's super impactful in helping the YouTube algorithm help this video find other Lumineers like yourself. If you enjoyed the Lorcana content here on the channel and you want to see more, do me a massive favor and type and smash that subscribe button and click that bell so you get notified of when I upload new videos every Tuesday and Friday. As always, you can follow me on the artist, formerly known as Twitter, on X, at Lorcana Thanos. Thanks for watching, and I think you might enjoy these. So check out what else I have here on the channel, and remember, the hardest choices require the strongest wills. Bye!